evening. Your Nation Wants to Know. I'm Anand Narasimhan, and midweek, the nation wants to know whether or not the love affair and the intended obsession with Hrithik Roshan made Kangana Ranaut create an entire illusion or a figment of her own imagination, her engagement and her equations with the actor. 446 emails out of the reportedly and allegedly 1,439 emails written by Kangana Ranaut to Hrithik Roshan have been accessed by Times Now, and not one of these 446 have seen a response. That's what it proves. So what does it point to? Was there an imposter who took Kangana Ranaut up the garden path, a royal bride, or did she just create this entire thing from her own imagination? More on that after a quick check of the headlines. We've got a news break and a development coming through on that Hrithik Kangana battle. But first, the headlines. Stay tuned for an explosive primetime news break tonight. Spine-chilling intercepts reveal massive anti-India conspiracy. Stay tuned to Times Now. In a massive development in Augusta case, Enforcement Directorate moves to bring back one of the most notorious middlemen, Carlos Gerosa, sends extradition notice to Italy. Critics of Modi government proven right after the RBI projects a lower growth at 6.7% from a high of 7.3. Are we in the middle of a big slowdown?
हमने पेट्रोलियम विभाग की ओर से वित्त विभाग को अनुरोध किया था। वित्त विभाग ने कल एक नोटिफिकेशन के माध्यम से 2 रुपया एक्साइज ड्यूटी घटाने का निर्णय किया।
A day after the government cut excise duty to give relief to the Aam Aadmi, Centre asked the state to reduce VAT on fuel prices to further ease the pain of the common man. Times Now accesses explosive, sensational emails written to Hrithik Roshan allegedly by Kangana Ranaut. Details put a question mark over the actor's City X claim.
डेंगू में यहाँ 300 से अधिक मौतें हुई हैं। चिकनगुनिया में सैकड़ों मौतें हुई हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश में इस प्रकार की कोई भी मौत नहीं हुई है।
Responding to CPM's jibe asking Yogi to learn from Kerala's hospitals, Yogi Adityanath rips into the Kerala government citing chikungunya and dengue statistics to attack the Pinarayi-led government.
So only one comment. Sir, the CBI has been saying you have been denying of all those charges of the CBI. I have no comments.
When asked about CBI's case against him, Karti Chidambaram chooses to mock the media. Can arrogance be a response to questions on propriety?
There have been terrorist groups that have used Pakistan as a haven for attacks outwardly and not just towards Afghanistan. We've seen the attacks on India as well.
And days after India named and shamed Pakistan at the UN stage, Washington puts Islamabad on notice. US Defense Secretary orders Pakistan to shut down terror safe havens. And Times Now has accessed the forensic report that exonerates Hrithik Roshan, almost literally, quite literally, upholds the claims made by him that he never used the device from where these purported mails were received to, and the email ID also did not belong to him but of that of an imposter. I just have a copy of the executive summary, and I have Megha Prasad, our senior news editor, joining us. Now, the executive summary, Megha, very clearly says, after checking the PC network and Wi-Fi logs, the original Apple Mac of Mr. Roshan shows no results or instances of having accessed mail.com domain in which the email.com is present. They also say Ms. Kangana Ranaut has been sending emails to Hrithik Roshan with explicit content that were either flagged spam or ignored without responding to them either. They also say Hrithik Roshan's system logs and all other data recovered from his system does not show any kind of usage of proxies or VPN. Said application downloads or installations do not exist. Now, if you take us through the other points, then we'll come back to point number 2 that makes it a little curious. But go ahead.
Well, Anand, the 3 points that you have read, and I'll read the rest of them. But then at the outset, it's important for us to understand that this is a report which we are showing, which is the forensic report that has been, it's a report on digital forensic analysis that has been secured from a place called TAL. It's called TAL Secure. The company, it's obviously a private lab that has given this report. So questions, of course, being raised from Kangana's side as to what is the authenticity of this one. Obviously, nobody is stopping the police or even Kangana's side for requesting a government forensic analysis that can happen in any of the labs here in Mumbai or outside. But after the third point that you have read, the other observation says Hrithik Roshan's system does not contain any kind of pictures with Kangana which could show any kind of close interaction between them, though there are some casual pictures which were clicked between them, most probably during the shoot of Krish 3. Emails that were sent by Kangana was ruled by the Google's proxy, which was sent from her iPhone 5S, recovered from the particulars sent by her in the mail attachments. Finally says the images and mails from the imposter using fake ID Roshan at email.com shows that the imposter was using an Apple ID iPad device, and Hrithik Roshan did not own an iPad during that period of time. The question still remains, Anand, do you really have an imposter in the picture, or is it the two of them, playing a very dirty game with each other? A back and forth that is happening about account being hacked, no complaint being lodged, then Hrithik releasing emails. Things like that has made this entire story much, much more murkier. But the question still beckons, and like I asked Rizwan Siddiqui, the lawyer of Kangana, that he is time and again questioned, he is time and again alleged that the email account of Kangana was hacked and Hrithik perhaps was using that email account to send mails to himself. When I asked him, why have you not gone to the police in so many years? Why have you not complained? He had no answer. They have not gone to the police. They have not made a formal complaint. He says, my client said that since she was in a relationship with Hrithik Roshan, she did not find it fit to go to the police on an issue like that. And that is quite a bizarre explanation.
Yes, it is. And if you look at all these points, there is some aspect which shows that perhaps it was not a one-way street all along. Because if point number 2 says she has been sending emails to Hrithik Roshan with the explicit content that were either flagged spam or ignored without responding to them either. So if it was flagged spam and there was no response, then was this an imposter? And we all know that we can mark a lot of mails as spam and still check them.
Well, Anand, I'll just put something. There needs to be a clarification here. So when we talk of an imposter, the imposter is being alleged in the sense that there was somebody who was using the @Roshan@email.com, that particular domain, to respond to Kangana, right? That is where the entire imposter things come into the picture.
Right.
Kangana did claim that she received a particular email from that email ID, and she thought it was Hrithik Roshan. Hrithik says he's never used it. Forensic analysis says he's never used it, has never gone into that domain. It doesn't belong to him. So, in all probability, there is somebody out there who was responding to Kangana. But the fact still remains that beyond that one email, Anand, she has not produced any other evidence to suggest that she was receiving emails from that particular account. Beyond the one email that she claims, and actually she sent that email to Hrithik for him also to see, there is no evidence to suggest that she was actually talking to an imposter.
No, not just that. See, there is no evidence to suggest she was talking to an imposter. The other question many people are asking is, will somebody be writing 446 mails to someone without getting any response or getting any counter? And is Kangana disturbed mentally to not realize, or somebody else close to her to not realize? Because there are others who say that she is in her day-to-day engagements, she is perfectly normal. And she has also acted in so many movies and interacted with so many people. So what is this reality in this case? Because the Hrithik camp alleges very clearly, their allegation is that this is somebody who's either mentally disturbed, who's created a hallucination and continues to be obsessed, or this person has been interacting with an imposter, one of the two. Whereas the Kangana camp says, we've never denied that there was an engagement, there was interaction and exchange of emails, but these emails that have been submitted have not been verified by us. Both lawyers did speak to us. Megha, let's listen to that.
Well, the emails speak for themselves. The emails speak for themselves. Look, and not only that, I mean, there may be doubting Thomases, but I am surprised that the same doubting Thomases in the past believed a complete hyped up story of a so-called imaginary affair without even bothering to ask the party claiming the affair What was the basis for saying there was an affair? Was there a meeting? Was there an email? Was there a text message? How did this affair take place? In thin air. It is a phantom affair on which there is no substratum of fact.
See, my client's emails were hacked, and that my client's emails were hacked is also on record since as early as 2014. Now, how reliable would be an email from a hacked account unless until my client sees and authenticates those emails? So I really think it'll be very foolish on my part to react to emails which my client has not authenticated. So the emails which have been authenticated, which the things which my client had to say, she's already committed to those things. She's already admitted to those things, that yes, there was a relationship. But certain emails, you can say majority of those emails, where they say that 10 emails or 15 emails a day, my client hasn't seen those emails, and my client without seeing those emails, how can she even admit? Mr. Hrithik Roshan wants an end to this entire thing because there is no end, logical end. The police has not found any imposter. That is why Hrithik is desperately trying to come out with his own private forensic report, which he has paid for, and he wants the world to rely on that particular private forensic report. He has not answered those questions which were put to him as early as 2014 end. He hasn't responded to a whole lot of things. If he really wants to come out clean, then there is another way of doing it. That's the right way of doing it, that he needs to answer those questions with regards to his own conduct, with regards to his own acts of commissions and omissions.
Well, we'll pull out those questions that Rizwan Siddiqui had put out back in 2016. Questions, he says, which were out on the public domain. There were about 5 or 7 questions, I remember vaguely at this point in time. Megha, correct me if I'm wrong. And those questions have still not been answered. We'll put those questions out even as we put out what the forensic report highlights. Now, I'm just quickly going through that. The forensic report backs Hrithik's claims that the email account attributed to him belongs to an imposter. The imposter was using an account registered in New Jersey, United States, that does not belong to Hrithik Roshan. Configuration of the contentious email address was not found on Hrithik's computer system. Imposter was using an iPad to send sexually explicit emails, but Hrithik Roshan does not own an iPad, or did not own an iPad at the time of the exchange of these emails. That's what the forensic report says. Hrithik Roshan's computer doesn't have any pictures with Kangana to show that they had a relationship. Emails sent by Kangana was ruled by the Google's proxy sent from her iPhone 5S. They were recovered. Indecent and explicit emails were sent by Kangana, were ignored without any response from Hrithik Roshan. And finally, Hrithik wrote to Kangana's sister where he states that he isn't the holder of the contentious email address. That was what was said, that exchange, and that is where it all hinges. Megha, before I come across to you, we have to take a very, very short break here on Nation Wants to Know. We join you with more on this very story. Stay with us. Welcome back. We stay on with the Hrithik Kangana battle. Filmmaker Vikram Bhatt did speak to us a short while ago. Let's listen in.
Seriously try to look at this with a certain amount of compassion and see if there is a problem with how Kangana feels. Maybe she is put into a spot and she does not know how to come out with the real truth of her heart. I think one should, while Hrithik is quite clearly blameless from what you are saying, it's also very clear that one should approach Kangana with a certain amount of compassion and understand what made her do this, because it's obvious that no woman in her right mind is just going to start sending explicit emails.
Well, the opinion seems to be divided, and Bollywood also split perhaps in its opinion. Which way and what would the law say? Because why is it that Kangana's faction is coming out and saying Hrithik Roshan is doing this for publicity? Why does he have to do it right now?
Well, Anand, like I said, it is a lot of dirty linen being washed in public now from both sides, allegations flying thick and fast from both sides. Now that, questions, of course, being raised from Kangana's side as to why they are coming out so late with so many of the emails. Didn't he see them before? Well, there is an explanation from Hrithik's side suggesting that we did, of course, furnish all of these emails, 446 in total, with the complaint, the police complaint that we made in 2017, April, to the police. It's the police's lookout as to why they have brought it on record now, and of course, people in the out there in the media, of course, figured this out only after the complaint was turned into an official one. And till this time, the police perhaps was just making an inquiry or probing into it, rather than putting, taking this on record as an official complaint. So that's the explanation coming in. The point still remains is that there are very serious allegations from the side of Hrithik now by way of the evidence that they have furnished with the police. And will now Kangana respond? Will she now respond to the fact that there are emails like these, Anand, the ones that I have in the background, which suggest that perhaps there was no relationship between the two of them as late as 25 August 2014? Well, the claim by Kangana is that she has been in a relationship with Hrithik that ended perhaps in December 2014, but goes back all the way 7 years. So there is a lot to be explained from both sides. It's sad that all of this is happening and unfolding in the public domain, but that's how they have chosen it to be.
Thanks for the update, Megha. We're taking a very, very short break here on Nation Wants to Know. News and updates on the other side. Fresh trouble for actor Prakash Raj. We tell you why and more on the Honeypreet development where the political angle emerges. Stay with us. I join you on the other side.